Hi everyone, welcome back to a game of two halves. We apologise for lateness this week. We've had a lot of logistical issues with, houses being flooded and sleeping arrangements all up in the air. But I'm delighted to be joined again by Dal and Jim. Say hello, guys.
Hola.
You right?
And let's just get right into it.
Okay, so we obviously missed match day 28 or 38 because of obviously house being flooded and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is quickly just run through the scores, our predictions, and obviously the actual results. So first game, Newcastle versus Villa. Jim predicted a 1-0 Villa. Al predicted a 0-0. I predicted a 2-1 Villa. And the actual score was 1-1. So kudos, Alex, predicting a draw.
Yeah, man. It definitely should have been a 0-0 because the game was so bad.
Oh, 100%. It was boring. Just like the next game on the list, which was Leeds-Chelsea. Jim 2-0, Al 1-0, me 2-1, all to Chelsea. Ended 0-0.
Yeah, not much to say.
Well then, next game, Crystal Palace, West Brom. So Jim predicted 3-0 Palace. I predicted 1-1. Al predicted 2-1 West Brom. Ended 1-0 Crystal Palace. It is what it is. Everton. Jim predicted 2-1 to Everton. Al predicted 1-0 to Burnley. I predicted 2-1 to Everton. It ended 2-1 Burnley. So Al got the W on that. For Man City, we said Jim said 6-1 Man City. Al said 3-1. I said 3-1. Ended 3-0. Me and Al was pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Next game, Southampton Brighton. Jim predicted 2-1. Al predicted 2-1. I predicted 2-2. It ended 2-1 Brighton. Hey, Brighton finally won. They finally put balls in the back of the net. Hallelujah. Leicester, Sheffield United. Jim predicted 3-0. Al predicted 2-1. I predicted 3-1. Well, we can stop and talk about this real quick because the boy again, Iheanacho, absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, man.
Was it a hat trick? It was a hat trick, wasn't it?
Yeah, hat trick.
I think when we start this next season, this podcast, we pick one player to just call really bad, just call him shit or whatever, and then put a bet on him to be like the best player in the next 4 weeks, like because we've done that, and Iheanacho's just turned up and smashed it.
Imagine if you actually just listened to our podcast, you're thinking, who the hell are these three random donnies? And they're just like literally slighting me. They don't know a thing about football. They've claimed they're not professional pundits, but yet they're slighting me.
To be fair, Alex did say he plays better as a number 10 than a striker, and that's where he's played for the past 4 weeks. And number 10.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah, man.
Right, next game. Arsenal Spurs. So Jim predicted 3-2 Spurs. I predicted 3-1 Spurs. I predicted 4-0 Spurs. Ended 2-1 Arsenal. Well then.
Yeah. We didn't do well there at all.
No.
So, big talking point in this one though. Was it a red card?
No.
So, the way I saw it personally, I don't think the second yellow especially, I don't think it should be another yellow card, but I can see how it can be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah,
I understand. Like he's like lifted his arm and like stuff like that, but when you're protecting the ball, you are going to lift your arm. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's just unfortunate that where he's gone to put his arm to protect the ball, it's just unfortunate that it happens to be where the players. I can't remember which player it was, but his face is there. Yeah,
that's what I mean, and. Like, I don't even think the first yellow card was a yellow card, if I'm perfectly honest.
I didn't either.
Like,
personally.
But then... sorry, carry on.
I was going to ask, was it a penalty?
Yes,
I generally can't remember, but I think I said yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
I said yes because Lacazette's missed the ball. He has missed the ball completely. Like, he's swiped at it, air ball, everything. But Davinson Sanchez has cleaned him out, obviously by accident, but he still cleaned him out without even making contact on the ball. And the chance has gone, but it's still a penalty.
I don't think it's a penalty because if Lacazette doesn't kick to go for the ball, it doesn't touch. No one touches each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Davinson Sanchez is there to block,
Yeah.
and it's Lacazette's fault that he's missed the ball and kicked Sanchez.
That's exactly. I took
Yeah.
the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah,
But
I personally don't think it's a penalty at all.
I think it's very soft. But like I said, at the minute with this day and age and the way the penalties are, like it's a penalty. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a pen because Lacazette maybe should have connected with the ball and scored it first time in the first place, and not just half touch it and completely miss the ball. But in this day and age, it is a pen. But apart from the pen, let's just talk about that finish from Lamela. Oh my god! Imagine having the balls.
Probably contention of a Puskas award. Absolutely sensational.
Imagine standing there. It's set up for your right foot to do that. Having the balls to go, nah, don't really fancy it with my weak foot, if I'm honest. I'll wrap my other foot around my other foot and then slap it through two people's legs and score it in the corner. Why not?
One of the best goals we've seen in the Premier League, literally.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not as good as Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick, though, but it's up there. It's
Got the shin roller.
Yeah. Gary Shinola.
I mean, Lamela's goal took more skill, but we'll gloss over that.
My favourite thing about this is that he scored a Rabona, but it's still not the best Rabona who scored for Tottenham. It's just mental to think.
The first one he scored. Imagine scoring a Rabona and people are still saying, not quite as good as the one from outside the box, though, is it?
Yeah. It makes two men, don't they? It makes two.
Yeah. It makes two men, but the first one he scored it outside the box and put it in top corner, and you're like
the one outside the box in the Europa League, he's hit it and it's curled perfectly into the court. I don't understand it, man.
I don't know how he put that pair on it.
You know what annoys me though, because when Lamela first come from, ironically enough, Roma, to Spurs, he was really good, and I was really excited for him, and I thought he was going to be sick, and then they wanted him to replace Bale, and I think that much weight on his shoulders has killed him off. But he's still a
green injury prone. That's the problem.
But he's still a quality player. Like, he's just so skillful. If he had that bit of edge at the end of his game, he'd be
He's just not clinical enough, in the final third. That's the problem.
On his day, I think he's fantastic. But and when you say you brought him in to replace Bale, you got to remember that Tottenham bought in 3 or 4 players to replace Bale, and it's still so you can't really just say he hasn't done it because multiple men haven't done it over the years.
Oh yeah, 100%. But for the position and the way that Lamela plays, he was brought in to replace that left wing role. They bought that. Who did they buy that season? They bought Lamela, Soldado, Paulinho.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think they bought Sigurdsson. I think that was either that season or the season after.
Sigurdsson was a quality player.
I think it was that season, actually. I think they bought... Yeah, I think they bought Lamela, Paulinho, Soldado and Sigurdsson all in that transfer window. 3 massive players.
What's his name? What's his name?
So, they brought in Ericsson, Chadley, Lamela, Paulinho, Capu, Kirikez, the centre-back, and Soldado.
Yeah.
Ericsson... Well worth the money.
Ericsson definitely succeeded out of all of them.
Yeah, 100%. It was a shame because Nasser Chadley as well was one of those players that could have been and then just fell off. And it shows that Paulinho was a class player anyway because he went to China and Barcelona still went and bought him and then sold him again. And how much Barcelona could do with a midfielder like Paulinho now, just go back and get him. Paulinho's class, man. Paulinho is a class player. Same as, to be fair, Etienne Capoue. I rate Etienne Capoue so much. He's at Watford and he played so well for Watford consistently for so many years. And I was just waiting for him to be bought by somebody else. It's the same as Steven Nzonzi. What was he doing for so many years at Stoke? The player was a dominant player in midfield. And
who's he playing for now? Is it Roma?
I know he went to Sevilla.
Italian league.
He went Sevilla. He went Roma. I can't remember who he plays for now.
I think he's still in.
He currently plays for Rennes, the same team as Camavinga plays for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but he's on loan from Roma.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what I mean. Like Steven Nzonzi, he's a banging player, same as Capoue, and I think. See, here's a question for you now. Do you guys like the Højbjerg and Ndombele combination in that midfield?
Yeah, it'll do the job.
It's not scary. Like Højbjerg, I think he needs another season in the Prem to get his feet on the ground. You know what I mean? But he's not really intimidating. He has moments where he's been dominant in that midfield, but
He's been playing in the Prem for a while now.
It's his first season, anyway. Or was it second?
He played for Southampton before Tottenham.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
But that's what I mean. See, I like Ndombele. I think he's a fantastic player, a really good player. But I just don't know how that dynamic works. It works to an extent, but again, have you not seen their last game? They changed the centre back pairings again.
Really, I don't know.
Mourinho just does not know his best centre back pairing, man. Alderweireld didn't play. It was Sanchez and that new lad.
We'll get into that game in a bizzle. We will move on. Yeah. So Man United, West Ham. So Jim predicted 2-2. Al predicted 2-1, and I predicted West Ham to win 2-1. We only won 1-0 because of an own goal.
I swear I predicted that 0-0.
You did? I did say 0-0.
I thought you said 2-1.
No. I said for me. I predicted it 2-1. Own goal, poor performance. I don't really want to get into it. We just wasn't clinical enough, and we shouldn't have won. We should have drew that game. It should have been a 0-0.
We can talk about Man United's issues in a sec.
Next game, Wolves Liverpool. Jim predicted 1-1. Al predicted 2-0. I predicted 3-1. 1-0 Liverpool. Okay. And the man himself, Diego Jota, scoring against his former club. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
From a neutral perspective, I hope this can help Liverpool kick on a bit.
Not for me.
And that's why I said from a neutral perspective.
Neutral.
I'm not a neutral. You two more neutral, but me, I am not neutral with him.
That's why I said a neutral perspective. I want the top 4 challenge to go all the way. I want like 17 different teams to be in the running for it. I don't even care.
Can we be involved in that 17, please?
No, you're relegation. You're relegation, man, unfortunately.
That's what we mean.
Yeah, you're the one that's already going down. I'd even put Sheffield United have a better chance than you.
They're below us. How does that work?
Well, I've got a quick question for you, lads. So, out of this match day, who was your player of the week? Being as obviously we didn't do it.
Lamela, even though he got sent off.
I wrote down Diego Jota because he's just come back from injury. He's come against his former club and he scored the winning goal for Liverpool.
For me, it was Iheanacho. Scored a hat-trick. Absolutely dominated performance. He even got an assist as well in that game as well, I believe. So literally 3 goals and assists. You can't... Come on. The guy absolutely ran the show. He was the main man of the week.
You know, to be fair, just like FIFA Player of the Month, give it Gundogan or Fernandes every week. Every month, sorry.
Yeah.
So Iheanacho for the past 2 weeks, he can have Player of the Week. He can have Player of the Month, fam. He has been unreal. And then we'll move on to the FA Cup games, which proves it even more.
Well, we got some Premier League games first, my sir. We have match day 29 of 38, which was the only 4 games played. First game, Leeds and Fulham. Fulham 1, Leeds 2. I didn't really watch the game, but obviously important victory for Leeds. They needed that. With that victory, they now are sitting 11th place in the Premier League. They're on the same points as Crystal Palace, Wolves. Oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're banging. They're literally 2 points clear of Crystal Palace with 39 points.
I did watch this game.
Okay.
And we'll get on to more of it later on because when we talk about like England squads and stuff, we'll talk about them. But Patrick Bamford had an unreal game.
Did he really?
He did.
Did he score the game? Did he score?
He scored and assisted.
Oof. Okay.
So the first goal that he scored was fantastic, like movement in the box. He was just so much like more on it than the front defenders. Pulled away, pulled back in, got himself all the space for the goal. The second one, it was more of Rafinha's brilliance, but Bamford's pass is like in his stride, so doesn't have to do much when he picks the ball up and whatnot. Obviously, when we get into the England squad later, we'll talk about his chances of getting in the squad. But then he went off injured, and that's the second game in a row. I think now he's had to come off early because of an injury, which I think is hampering his chances. So I think Bielsa needs to be a bit careful with him because he is performing. He just needs to be careful of the injuries. Obviously, holding
his fitness, basically. Yeah.
And Jim, you can keep quiet until we talk about it later.
Anywho, Brighton winning again, 3-0 against Newcastle. Do you think that's over for Steve Bruce now? Do you think that's it? He needs to get
should
the sack?
be.
He needs
It
to get
should
the sack.
be. I'm sorry, it should be.
How many games have they not won for now? Because they didn't even beat us, and we're wank.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw the game against you, how awful they were.
The thing is,
I know West Brom weren't much better, but the game itself, Newcastle were awful. And against Brighton, they were just.
You know what the worst thing is about that as well? We were the better team. Albion
was
a better team against Newcastle.
We definitely should have won that game.
We've been trash all season, and we're better than Newcastle, who shouldn't be trash.
Yeah, but like when they come up against Brighton, and I've said a couple times when we've predicted results that I don't ever see Brighton scoring more than one goal. When you lose 3-0 to Brighton, who can't score goals, there's an issue. And considering Newcastle usually play 5 at the back, and you're still shifting 3 goals against Brighton, who are awful this season for some reason, they play very well, but they aren't scoring. Like, there's an issue there.
100%.
He's time.
The one or two Newcastle fans that I know want him gone. So I think it's time. It's time to go.
It's time to go.
If we look at it this way, with that Brighton W, Brighton are 4 points clear now of Newcastle. They played the same amount of games, 29. Fulham have played one more game than them, but Fulham's still 2 points behind them. And with how Fulham performing, I reckon Fulham will outdo Newcastle.
I've already said, one, Scott Parker's a handsome man. He deserves to be in a big job in the Premier League. But the way Fulham have been playing, they 100% deserve it. They deserve to stay up. Like me and Alex were talking about it the other day, and we said the fact that Scott Parker has realised what was wrong with the squad, gone and actually fixed it properly, like worked on it throughout the season to make sure it's fixed, and they can score. Just warrants, and the way they've been performing as well just warrants them to stay up. And I know it's Fulham, and some people are like, Fulham. It's kind of like Fulham and Leeds are like two of the most weirdly hated clubs, but I do think Fulham deserve to like stay up. They've performed so much better than the teams below them and above them.
Yeah. Like when you look at the teams that are now in the relegation zone, you can argue that Brighton are slightly moving away from the danger now. But Newcastle you compare Newcastle's performance to everyone else's. Obviously, we're talking about Fulham. Fulham's performances compared to Newcastle's are infinitely better at the moment.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But when you compare Newcastle to West Brom, even Sheffield United, when we get into the FA Cup game, they had a good game against Chelsea. Their performances they're not awful. Like all season, Sheffield United haven't been awful. They've been unlucky. They've lost by a goal here or there. But and then you compare West Brom, who unfortunately are getting shafted with decisions by the looks of it. They always seem to give away a penalty or a red card a game at the moment. I don't know why. Newcastle are levels below.
That's what I mean.
Levels below. They don't even look like they're gonna get out of this funk.
It's weird because they've got a lot of rotational players. They've got a lot of players that can bring on and make big game changes as well. That's what's weird about
it. One thing I noticed when we talk about Newcastle, sorry to interrupt,
it's right.
We talk about that draw against Aston Villa. The only reason Newcastle got the equaliser was because Villa just got lazy in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So I can't remember who crossed the ball in, but he just had acres of space and just picked out Lascelles, and it was a very good header. But yeah, I just don't see anything from Newcastle. I think Steve Bruce's time is up and has been up for the last couple of months probably.
That's what I mean. Like when you watch them play, like with us at least, like. When we see us play now with the players that we brought in, it's really nice. And it's the same with Sheffield United. Their style of play still warrants a really good attack. They just can't score for toffee. And defensively, they've always been a bit shaky anyway. When they got, 9th or whatever it was last season, they were a bit shaky, but they could just outscore teams. That was their thing. And Newcastle, like us, we're unlucky. Sheffield United just concede too many. Newcastle aren't either. They concede too many, can't score, and they're not unlucky. There's not been a part in the season where they've gone a decision's gone against them or anything like that. They've just been poor, and it's just bringing in Callum Wilson was a very good signing, but since he's been injured and his form's slumped again, he's been struggling quite a bit, and they've been struggling because of that. And 30-odd-year-old injury-prone pay-as-you-play Andy Carroll ain't going to solve it, and a very failed Joe Linton definitely isn't going to solve it. And they've got two wingers which provide. Let's be honest, they provide a lot. They do. They get down the wings. They absolutely terrify defenses with their pace and skill. But there's nobody to finish it. St. Maximin will definitely not be at Newcastle next season. He's way too good to be there. Same
I can
as
see him going for
Almiron.
PSG. You know what I mean?
Like when we talk about Newcastle, obviously they every time they get a couple of good performances, they all get injured again. Like St. Maximin just came back from all of his COVID stuff, was he was struggling.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he comes back, he's injured again. And when I saw that he was injured from now to like for a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, whatever it is, like I just don't see any spark in him.
Nah.
Yeah, 100%. It's just dead. The light's gone. It's over for him. Mike Ashley just needs to hurry up and sell the club, and hopefully someone can rebuild it. And the fans can look forward to a new chapter of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, obviously they had like the Saudi takeover like fall through at the start of this season, and I've heard somewhere that Mike Ashley probably wants them to go down, so the EFL standards are different to the Premier League standards, and the Saudi takeover may go through, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think Mike Ashley's just holding out for too money. He's been trying to sell that club for about 5 years.
And the rest.
But I think Alex is right in what he's saying, because the EFL, because you pay a lot of money to the EFL to take over a club as well. That's the whole thing. And as Alex said, Mike Ashley might want him to go down. So the EFL rules are different to the Premier League rules, and the Premier League's a lot stricter because they don't need the money from the owners. They earn their money everywhere else, whereas the EFL, like, please, sir, can I have some more? Yeah. Like, the EFL is a poor league. That's the thing. Like, I was saying this to Hayden the other day, sorry, to spin it onto the Albion, and all. But he was
how
on
long it would take.
He was on about our owners, and like obviously we've had the discussion about the Chinese law and everything, how they can only pump so much in and they have to take some out. And there was an American consortium that's still interested, but they can't really buy us yet, and that's through the Premier League rules and that. And I said to Hayden, I said, once we go down, they can buy the club, but you've got to be careful. It's like with Newcastle, you've got to be careful. You go down and you get stuck, you're stuck for a goddamn long while. I mean, look at Leeds. How many times they've almost got promoted, but then when you get almost promoted, your players then go, because if you don't get promoted, they're good enough to be in the Premier League, so they'll get signed by the other teams. And once that happens, you're stuck in a rut then. That's it. You're Championship born and bred then. And that's once you lose that momentum, it's over. Like, I was scared when we lost our player semi-final to Villa. I thought, that's it, we're stuck, it's over.
Yeah,
like, we're Championship club now. But luckily enough, and I will say luckily, because we looked our way to the Premier League last season. Let's not gloss over that. But yeah.
Well, I think we'll move on that topic. We being you mentioned Villa. They lost 2-0 to Spurs. Harry Kane with a cheeky penalty. Was it a penalty?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. I agree. It was a penalty. No wrong there. Yeah,
trying to score him still on the pitch. Definitely a penalty. Harry Kane may have
played up to
forced the issue
over
playing around a bit. Yeah, but it's still definitely a penalty because one of them, as we were talking about Foden last week, when I was on the loose, I didn't hear it. But if you don't go down, you don't get it.
Yeah. That's the thing. So, if you literally don't go down, you don't get it. If Harry Kane stood up there, he wouldn't have got the penalty.
Exactly.
So
when we talk about the game, I didn't notice anything, to be honest. Tottenham's first goal was a tap-in. Second goal was a penalty. I didn't see much of this game.
Who was it? Is it
Vinicius? Yeah, Carlos Vinicius got the goal.
His first ever Premier League goal. He was a bit too excited, you know what I mean? He's 26.
I saw his celebration, and I was like, all right, mate.
He's 26 years of age. He thinks he's Mbappe. He's like, bro, calm down.
I'll never get over the tweet when it was like 26 years old, score 4 goals against like a non-league Marine, and you celebrate like Mbappe. All right, mate.
He scored his first ever Premier League goal, and he's literally he slaps the post. He's screaming like he's won the Premier League. Like he's literally, that goal he's just scored has won them the Premier League title, or even the Champions League final. But you're not. You're literally fighting for a mid-place finish.
One thing I will also say, like, if you were brought in as a striker and you've struggled to score a Premier League goal, like when you first get it, you're gonna love it. Like at the end of the day, like he's scored a goal, he's loving life. It's a weight off his back. I don't blame him for celebrating as hard as he did, but it was just.
I think it was a bit too much, a bit OTT. I can understand the celebration and probably, you know what I mean, like getting really happy and buzz about it. But literally, my man literally slapped the post so hard you could see it just vibrating like that. I'm like, bro, is there any need?
I think he thinks he's better than he is. He seems to me like he's one of those dickhead players. That's how I put it.
100%. Yeah, literally, he thinks I'm God's gift. I'm this, I'm that. You're not.
He thinks he's better than what he is, and he's not that good.
Yeah, but you have to have that mentality to succeed in football in the first place.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like Harry Kane doesn't go around thinking he's better than what he is, and that's what's kind of the charm about him, and that's why people like him so much, because he's got the talent and the ability, but he doesn't go around like being a dickhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he might have that mentality, but just doesn't show it.
Which is fine.
Like I said, to succeed in anything, you need that little bit of arrogance to go forward. Like if you don't have that ruthless edge, that arrogance to say you're better, you won't have the confidence to do what these players.
There's arrogant, and then there's just pure knob. He's just pure knob. That's literally what it is. It's just pure knob.
Get a scale in the bottom right hand side of the TV.
Literally
have a pure knob scale, arrogant scale, and just the top is pure knob, and the needle's doing these.
It's broken. It's just the glass is shattered and everything. Like, bro, 4 goals against. Okay, yeah, well done. You scored 4 goals against a non-league side, but there's no need for you to copy a kid who's under the age of 20, who's literally on the world stage right now, and you're just trying to copy it because he's way better than you'll ever be.
Actually, I just want to point that out, being as you mentioned Mbappe, how long do you reckon it'll be before he wins the Ballon d'Or?
I don't think he's going to win the Ballon d'Or.
At all? In his entire career?
If he does, I don't see it for another 3-4 years.
I have a funny reason I don't see him winning the Ballon d'Or.
I've said for a while, like when I've said to you guys, and like I'm worried to put this opinion out there, but I've always said I've not rated Mbappe as highly as everyone else has, purely because, yeah, it does well to perform in like the Barcelona game, for example. If you have a one-off game, it's a lot easier to perform well in one game, but he's performing all right and doing really good numbers. But in the French league, there's no one else. I know the title race this season is pretty close in the French league, but that's embarrassing to PSG.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, if you're PSG and someone else is even remotely close challenging for the title, that's an embarrassment. You are by far and wide the best team in that league, and the fact that Mbappe is the striker in that team is
the only way.
I just don't see it yet. I just don't see it. He hasn't proved it to me yet.
But is it embarrassing to PSG, or is that kudos to the team that's second and keeping it close? Because that means either
it's embarrassing to PSG.
Either PSG have gone sour and bad, which I don't think they have, because I watched them in the Champions League. They definitely aren't bad. They're still a really good team. But then is that the other team just seriously improving and then bringing the gap close? It might not be as close as, say, we'd like it in the French league and make the league better, but bringing the gap closer to PSG, is that not just kudos? I've just punched my mic twice.
It is.
Is that not just kudos to the team that's brought it closer anyway? Because PSG are going to win the league, that's no doubt about it. But that team bringing the competition closer is good. It's like when Atletico started to really pile pressure on the two big teams. Like, that's not Real Madrid and Barcelona getting bad. That's kudos to Atletico Madrid starting to be good, and that's how it is. And now they've won the league and they got the Champions League.
The differences with that, what you're saying with that, is PSG has spent probably £400 million just on 2 players.
Oh yeah, like
million.
the prices that they've paid.
Where Barcelona and Real Madrid, they've spent 400 million on an entire squad. That's the difference.
Yeah. Like the way Atletico's done it, they've been smart about it. They've bought youngsters, they've brought them through, they've worked hard for it, and then they've got their best players, and now they work with it, and then buy them players back when they're over the hill, and then they make them perform again, like Suarez and Diego Costa. But whatever. After selling Griezmann and going, yeah, we'll have Suarez back, and then showing Barcelona how to use him. But like PSG aren't bad. Like, I've come to a realisation that without Neymar, they're still a really good world-class team, and they could beat anyone on the day. And I think the hype behind Neymar, the hype behind Mbappe is a bit much. It is, like, whereas, like, Haaland is keeping up with Lewandowski in the German league. Now, that's impressive. That Haaland in a lesser team, let's say lesser, sorry, Al.
No, 100% this season. Dortmund have been performing. They've lost the manager and then wait until next season to get Mönchengladbach's manager in. It's a bit of a shambles, but
yeah, that's what I mean. But he's still keeping up with Lewandowski, and like Lewandowski's like the best striker in the world. Let's be honest about it. And you got Haaland, who's just behind him, like keeping up with him, and he's just a robot. He's just the matrix when he plays.
Obviously,
like code just descends upon his eyes when he puts a pair of football boots on.
You speak of Haaland, and if Haaland produces those numbers but moves either A to Bayern Munich, which could happen, B to Real Madrid or Barcelona, C maybe I could see, for some reason I can see him in Liverpool. I don't know why, because
Man City.
Liverpool or Man City, and he produces those numbers 25 plus a season or 20 plus a season, he'll beat Mbappe every year, in my opinion, for the Ballon d'Or.
Until Mbappe moves and shows his quality elsewhere. Yeah, I fully
the only
understand.
way I can see Mbappe getting the Ballon d'Or, sorry, Jim, is if he's like top goal scorer in the Champions League and they win the Champions League and they win the French league and they do a treble. You know what I mean? I'm fully.
The thing is, I'm fully not doubting his skill. Like, he has loads of it, and he proved it in the World Cup, which he did. He was class in the World Cup, but so was Pogba, being as he only performs for France every 4 years or every 2, because Euros.
The entire team was like, even Giroud, like,
yeah, but Giroud's class everywhere.
Like, it's not like Mbappe performing in the World Cup. That's because that French team is stupid.
Unreal. Yeah. Unreal. Yeah. Giroud's a class striker anyway, and it's criminal that anybody should think that he's crap, because it's lies. He is class. But yes, I'm looking at you now. But I think if Mbappe moves to a stronger team, such as the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid or Man City, because those are the only 3 teams in the world that can afford him. But like, if he does move, and I don't doubt that he will just wipe the floor with teams in there as well. Like, he's watching that Barcelona game made me realise how good he actually is. Like, the hype behind him is a lot, and I'm not there, like, that kind of hype. But watching him, I got a new appreciation for him because I can see how good he is. Like, that game, there was so many things.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
And,
watching that game, he scored, I think he scored 2 goals or something like that. But the one goal he scored...
a hat-trick there. So he scored a hat-trick.
I think he got 2. I
think he got 2. But the one goal he scored, where he finessed it in top corner, but the way he took it and finished it, you don't see, like, it was such an easy finish to him, but the way... It was literally a first touch on the half volley, and then hit it on the half volley.
Yeah, he got a hat-trick. He got a hat-trick.
But one of his goals was like that, and I can appreciate that goal because that's a really hard finish, and he made it look easy from about 16 yards out on the like left-hand side of the goal, and he put it in top right. It was a lovely finish.
Out of 2 legs, he got 4 goals, and he got a hat-trick in the first one.
Yeah, the first leg was it just made me appreciate him a bit more. Like, even I've questioned, like, oh, it's a French league, stick me up front and I'd look good, which is true. You could stick me up front in PSG's team in the French league and I'd score 20 plus goals a year. But there's something different about him. And I'm excited because you've got the likes of Mbappe and Haaland, which obviously it's going to be a Ronaldo-Messi situation. If they carry on doing what they're doing, it's going to be Haaland or Mbappe every year, because I love how Neymar's just never going to win it, ever, in his life. And I love it. I live for it. You know, I live for it. I live for the fact that Neymar moved and went into the shadow of Mbappe. He moved to get out the shadow of Messi.
I don't think he's in the shadow of Mbappe.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Yeah, he is. Why do you think he has to have breaks every so often to go and like see his sister on her birthday? Because he knows he's a washed up player now who's got nothing about him. That PSG don't need him because when Neymar weren't even playing against Barcelona, they slapped him. So it don't matter. They don't need him. Neymar is washed up.
Neymar holds a record for scoring 20 plus goals in Champions League for 2 different teams. Neymar's the only person who's done that.
But stick me up front and I'd score 20 plus goals.
Not in the Champions League, you wouldn't.
For PSG, I would.
Different ball game altogether.
Telling me you
whack
me up front against Dynamo Kiev in the PSG team. I'll stand on the penalty spot for 90 minutes and just wait. I won't be onside, but I'll stand on the penalty spot, wait for the defenders to come back, and just wait for the setups. Because
no,
but
Jim.
PSG don't need Neymar anymore. It's just proving it.
They do. They're still because Neymar offers that. Neymar is a quality player. Neymar is a world class player. Neymar will always be a world class player.
I will never label him as world class.
He's world class.
No, he was. He was when he was at Barcelona.
No, he's still world class even at PSG.
He's not world class anymore because of what he does. He's just not. He's lost all respect. What's
it to do, Jim? Tell me what he does. Tell me what it is.
Bro, did you not see the world record that he did for rolling about on the floor?
Jim, loads of players do it.
Yeah or no?
But many players do it.
Ronaldo.
You can't
Messi.
say someone's not world class for doing that.
Exactly.
Because that's got nothing to do with their footballing ability.
Literally.
It's awful. It's
not awful.
For me,
you can't knock a man down because he dived on the floor. You can't say he's.
He doesn't dive. He dives all the time. Breathe near him, bro. Watch. And he acts hard all the time when he could get knocked the fuck out every single time he gets up. Like he's like, oh, what did you do that for?
Jim,
As he's screaming and climbing around the floor.
Your thought process on this situation is all wrong. He is a world class, and he will always be world class. He's a legend, and he'll go down as a legend. One of the best. He ain't the best for Brazil. Don't say I'm saying he's the best, but he's going to be one of the best for Brazil. But the thing is, Neymar's had to put up with a poor Brazilian side. If Neymar was with the likes of Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, he'd be considered one of the greats, which is factual.
So like, obviously, Messi can't carry Argentina, and we know that. That's just a given.
And Neymar can't carry Barcelona.
Yeah.
And but Brazil.
Yeah. But look at when he was at Barcelona. His play acting was still a pain in the ass anyway.
His play acting was always there.
Yeah, it was still a pain in the ass there anyway. But
same with Suarez. Look at Suarez. He's just the same. And Suarez is a world-class striker. And you can't say he isn't.
He's a dickhead.
I know he's beat 3 people, but he's still a world-class player. And you can't take it away. Look what he did with Liverpool. He was abandoned for 11 games and still scored 30 goals.
I know. It's just that Neymar shouldn't be regarded as good as he is. He just shouldn't.
It's because he is. That's what he's earned.
But he's not. Because Mbappe's already overtaken him. Already. The kid is 19.
Because basically Neymar's, I think, 10 years older. Mbappe's got to prove it for another 10 years that he can do that.
He's overtaken him already.
He hasn't.
Yeah, he has.
He can't.
I wouldn't say he has, because Neymar's won a Champions League and Mbappe hasn't.
Exactly. Yeah, and he will win one. Will
he?
He's got 15 plus years left of his career, and he ain't gonna win anything with the skill.
Okay, put it to Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard never won a Premier League.
Yeah.
But you still class him as world class.
Well, he won the Champions League.
Yeah, but he was never going to win a Premier League.
Well, I wouldn't say never. He's the one who cost him the goal.
No, but he never won a Premier League.
He never won one. He was never going to win one with Liverpool.
Midfielder.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but Mbappe will. He will. The thing is, he will join a team that is good enough to do it. He will go to Real Madrid, he will go to Barcelona, he'll go to somebody who will get to a final and will win it. That's the thing. Obviously, Real Madrid won it 3 times and won it on the spin, so that record's been broken, whatever. Whatever. But every year, virtually somebody different wins it. Apart from that Real Madrid stint where they won it 3 times. But, every year, somebody different wins it, and that's just how it is. Like, somebody else will win it. Like, Spurs had a chance to win it, Liverpool have won it, like Real Madrid have won it, Atletico Madrid had a chance, Juve had a chance, Juve have won it, like Manchester United have won it. That's what I mean. Like, the cycle will happen where somebody else will win it, and he'll be at a team that will win it. And in that league, he'll probably win the league as well. It's the same with Haaland. He won't stick around at Dortmund forever if they don't improve. And that's just a fact. And Haaland will win a Champions League. He's too good to not be in a team that won't win it. Like, you wouldn't say, like, Lewandowski, when he was at Dortmund, he was always going to move to a team that was going to win it. Like, Bayern Munich, like, he was always going to move to a team like Bayern Munich that was going to win it, and then he moved to Bayern Munich and they won it. Like, Jesus, Chelsea won it, and they'd worked how many years to win it, and they won it with a washed up Fernando Torres and a very old Didier Drogba. I'm pretty sure that year Lukaku missed a penalty as well.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
That's what I mean. Like, anybody can win the Champions League, really. You just need a good, solid run. And, like, anybody, as proved by Leicester, anybody can win the Premier League. It's just whether you do what they did.
Leicester was a freak show. That was the thing. Like, the last time a team like that won it, that is, like, obviously unheard of today. It was Blackburn, was it? The first Premier League? But look at who they had up for.
Alan Shearer.
The third Premier League.
Yeah, they won the first Premier League. That's what I'm saying.
They won the third Premier League.
Like we talked about in the last podcast 2 weeks ago. I can't hold up anybody as world class or anything that good when they're doing that diving shit. I just can't. Like, I love Pereira to bits. He's a really good player. But I can't hold him up as such a good player when he rolls around the floor and play acts someone. Like, Grealish, I rate him so much, but he just...
Cristiano Ronaldo play acts.
Yeah.
He's not world class.
He doesn't play act to the extent that everybody else does. It's the same as Messi. They don't play act as much.
No, Ronaldo has literally rolled on the floor, cried his eyes out.
Yeah.
He's done the same as Neymar. He did it at Manchester United and he's done it at Real Madrid. He's even done it at Juve. So hang on, listen to me. I'm asking you a question now. He's done it at Manchester United. He's done it at Real Madrid. He's done it at Juve. He's done it at all three clubs. He's rolled around, play acted for a foul, a penalty, or anything, right? Is he world class, yes or no?
Well, yeah.
Is he one of the best of all time, yes or no?
Well, yeah.
Your argument is invalid.
No, it's not.
Because in your logic, what you're saying is a player who dives and rolls around on the floor and play acts is not going to be your high caliber. So therefore, Ronaldo's demoted from world class to a great player.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. When he was at Man U, he did it, and obviously there were teammates and everything when he did the whole look through his hands whilst he was pretending to get injured to get Rooney sent off from malarkey. And then he did it at Real Madrid when he was first there. And then he developed as a player and stopped doing it as much because he didn't need to do it. Yeah, but he still did it. He stopped doing it as much.
He still did.
I don't think he did.
He fully did. He fully did because he got too good. He got too good to even contemplate doing it. It's the same as Messi.
Literally, some of the goals that he scored and some of the penalties, no one's touched him. He's just fell over and he's got the penalty.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as most players nowadays. They will go down in the penalty area to win a penalty.
Ronaldo still does it. That's what I'm saying. Ronaldo's done it for all his career.
Yes,
but he's just got better at disguising it. But he still does it.
Every player goes down under contact or when they feel a little bit of contact. Yeah, they roll about, scream, whatever. Lacazette did it the other week. He got barely touched and he rolled round, absolutely yelling his face off, which is. And then he got up and carried on playing. He screamed like he'd broke his leg, but he got barely touched. And that is a disgrace because why are you screaming so much? Like, what are you doing? But the calibre of which Neymar does it in compared to everyone else is so drastic. So drastic compared to everyone else. Like, it's a part of the game and it's in the game and I hate it and I despise it. But the way Neymar does it is just... He's that arrogant meter. He's just straight knob. He's not arrogant. He's just straight knob. Like, he obviously has the skill. He proves it, that he has the skill to go in, do players, walk around them, score goals, do all that. And that game, I can't fault him on. He's really good. But why does he need to go round flopping himself like a fish all over the gaff? He doesn't need to.
So many players do it though.
If you are that good, if you are that good,
Cristiano Ronaldo's flopped like a that.
Yeah, but
and Cristiano Ronaldo is that good. He is the best in my opinion. He's the best of all time. And my favorite. I used to get mad at Cristiano Ronaldo for doing that, but obviously I understand that it's a part of the game, and it's never going to change. And it's actually evolved to be a part of the game today's society. Look at if you watch a full game of 90 minutes, you'll see how many players are diving and rolling around on the floor. Even if there you go. It's every player's done it. It's what they're taught now. It's how they're not taught it. It's what they're taught. It's what they're
look at Bielsa and Leeds. The entire team's coached to
West Brom players do it. Man United players, Sheffield United, every single player in every single team has it. Yeah. Every single player has divers. And even the most strongest man will still dive and look for a foul. But the people who do it who try to do it like for a penalty, like you see the 90th minute people flopping in the penalty area, which the centre back who rarely rolls on the floor. You can tell it's fake, but your attackers, they do it all the time. That's how they can. Yes. That's how it looks believable. And Ronaldo is one of the, if not the best, and he flops around like a fish on the floor, just like Neymar. And Neymar is and will be world class.
Well, I agree to disagree because Neymar does it to a degree that's just straight unacceptable. Whereas
I don't know what your degree is because Ronaldo does the exact same.
He doesn't though. You can watch in the degree of what Neymar flops around and cries like a little wuss on the floor about everything, and then go and watch Ronaldo. It's not the same caliber. It's not the same.
So Ronaldo getting Rooney sent off, that's not the same caliber.
I turned around and said that's unacceptable. Literally, I just said that. I just turned around and went.
But did Cristiano Ronaldo do it? Yes or no?
That kind of caliber is unacceptable. I just said that.
There you go. So Ronaldo's done it, and Ronaldo does do it.
No, but he doesn't do it now, and he hasn't done it for many years to that caliber. Whereas Neymar will do it week in, week out, every game to that caliber for no reason.
Do you watch PSG week in, week out, and Neymar's every game week in, week out? No, you don't.
But you can definitely watch the highlights.
So your comment that you said that he does it week in, week out.
Okay, whatever. We'll just carry on. We're not gonna agree on it, and it's just getting a bit excessive now. So we'll just carry on, move on.
I'm enjoying the conversation.
No, just move it on.
I'm just defending the players. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, just move it on. We'll just carry on.
Okie dokie. Let's move on then. A good game. Arsenal and West Ham 3-3. What a result that was. And how did West Ham lose a 3-goal lead so easily?
I thought it was always going to happen as soon as Arsenal scored before half-time.
Well, it wasn't a Lacazette goal. It was an own goal.
I know, but it was still... either way, Lacazette, like, if it wasn't an own goal...
It was off target.
Even then...
It was off target.
Even
off
still,
target, so it's unlucky on Souček own goal.
Sometimes even then, Souček had to be there to block the shot, and it just happened to go in. But if it goes in at half-time at 3-0, I don't see Arsenal coming back. 3-1, yeah, they can come back. 3-0, nah.
Yeah. It's just a bit sloppy on West Ham's part, because obviously they scored another own goal with Craig Dawson. Just literally hammered it into the back of his net. If he was a striker on the other end, that's absolutely sensational. That's an absolute peach.
Yeah, man.
Which almost nearly happened on the other end. I believe Antonio hit the post.
Yeah, it did. 3 yard out.
Yeah, from literally a yard out. He did score a goal. It was a good header. But can we talk about Jesse Lingard and how he scored and assisted again? And what a finish from Lingard it was. The way he's just hit that so sweetly and it's just curled.
The goal is very good. The goal is very good.
Top bins like that. It's just curled past the keeper's hands and he's just outstretching and everything. He just didn't even touch it. And that's 7 goals. 7 games, 5 goals and 2 assists now for Lingard. Quality. Pure quality.
Mm-hmm. He's done very well at West Ham. He's done very well.
Is he attacking midfielder you need?
Oh, I know. I'm not even going to argue with you. Like we need that person in our team, and I want him because of his pressing ability as well. His press is so hard, and that's what we need. We need with Bruno and him pressing. That'd be brilliant. But I can honestly see once his season's over, he's still well played for United. We'll get rid of him.
I see that
We'll
too.
just go. We'll just go.
Probably West Ham will buy him outright. David Moyes will probably want him back. That's what would probably happen.
Oh yeah, probably. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see at the end of the season. But yeah. So that's that for the Premier League games.
Yeah,
Do you want to move on to the FA Cup, or
yeah, we'll do a quick run of the FA Cup and then we'll go for a 5-minute break.
Okie dokie. Southampton battered Bournemouth 3-0. It's to be expected when they're a championship side. Bournemouth are and Southampton Premier League. So I ain't got no questions there.
It's something I did say. Like I put it on our Twitter, and I don't tweet very often, but I did put it on Twitter. Like for ages, it's always been said that, like the difference in class now between the Premier League and the Championship is just opening up and opening up. Bournemouth have only been a Championship side for less than a year.
Yeah.
And in that time, there's that much of a gulf in class between them already. Bearing in mind, Southampton haven't been great this season. Bournemouth have been all right. They've had a bit of a bad form, but they have been all right. So it should have been a close game because Bournemouth were at home as well. It all had the makings to be a close game, maybe a draw, maybe one eke in, one out. But Southampton would just outclassed them.
Do you
So
reckon
the difference now between the Premier League and the Championship is unreal. It's not even worth thinking about.
Nathan Redmond was unreal as well. He was sensational that game. He was stupidly good. Like stupid. Even his goal was like well deserved and played really well.
Here's a question: if the fans were there, would it have been a different result?
Probably, but that's something you can say all season. Like statistically, you win more home games than away games because there is a thing as home advantage. But this season, the amount of teams winning away is it's different.
Liverpool's away.
It's so much more. It's so much more. Like if fans were there, obviously every result would be different. It would be come back to a bit of normality. But I think that's the beauty. Everyone said the beauty of this season is that it just keeps chopping and changing, and you don't know what's going to happen. That is probably just because of the fans. Like you have like your Sheffield United's and your West Brom's going to Old Trafford and almost nicking a result when they should do, and stuff like that.
Like when
normally
that wouldn't happen. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is obviously with Man City, their stadium's always half empty anyway, so they're used to having no fans there. So,
but a good thing to mention is Liverpool, for example. You cannot tell me that Liverpool would have lost to Fulham, drew to Brighton, all this.
Lost 6 home games on the bounce.
That would not have happened with the fans in the stadium. It just wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 90 million years.
It's like the 13th man.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. 12th man being the ref.
Yeah, I'd say.
No, 12th man being the ref. 12th man being the ref, 13th man being the
It depends on the club because usually it's just a 12th man. That's what they say.
Well, if it's Man U, then it's 14th man, isn't it? Because you got the ref, the assistant manager, VAR, and then the fans.
Oh, I wish I wish it was like that, Jim. I wish.
But no, Southampton in the semis, and I think they're against. I can't remember what the FA Cup results are. They're against Leicester.
Leicester. Yeah, I mean Man U, Leicester.
Chelsea have got Man City and Southampton have got
That'll
Leicester.
Be a good tie, that will.
Well, yeah. So Everton lost to Man City 2-0.
I think overall Man City just showed their class towards the end. I only watched second half and it was still 0-0, maybe the last half hour or so, and that's when Man City scored their 2 goals. And the class just shown. Everton, they just didn't have anything else going forward. They lacked the clinical edge that Man City had. I think that was all it was.
Yeah, Man City was just the pure class as always.
Yeah, very clinical. De Bruyne's goal was very good, very well taken.
Yeah, it was. Even though he could have literally sweated it across to Phil Foden.
Will Man City win the Champions League?
No.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
No choking.
I don't see why they can't, but like I said, it depends on mentality.
I was going to say the form they are on, and the just the way they're playing. The only team I can see beating them are actually Bayern Munich. That's the only team I can see beating Man City at the minute. They're just, even with no recognised striker, they were just unreal. I'm like,
I think they'll choke it. Literally, I don't think they got what it takes in him to be champions winners. They could probably get to the final and be finalists, but I don't think they're going to be winners. Obviously, the difference is with Liverpool is they got a final robbed of them, 100% robbed, because Ramos should not have even been on the pitch.
When he
and then
they
the
get their chance for revenge. So.
Well, yeah, the year after they literally dominated Spurs, but obviously that was down to the manager for benching their best player in the game before, so that's their own fault. So, but
game anyway, that was.
Maybe Poch's learned from that when he comes to the Champions League. You know, don't bench your best players in important games. You know what I mean? But we'll move on anyway to Chelsea winning 2-0 over Sheffield United. Al?
Routine victory.
Chelsea played very well. Sheffield United really, really tried, and probably in the second half should have deserved a goal or something to come out of the game, because their second half performance was really good considering everything, considering like the bad run of form, the loss of Chris Wilder, but they were really, really solid and definitely deserved more than what happened. And then the second goal that Chelsea scored was just a quick breakaway, good finish by Ziyech.
Yeah,
but Thomas Tuchel, I think that's 12 wins in 14, or as 12 clean sheets in 14. It's just something stupid like that.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, it was just basically a routine win, wasn't it? Really.
In essence, yeah. In essence, like I'll say it again. Like Chelsea, I can't see anyone beating them. I can see them drawing to teams, but I can't see anyone beating them at the moment. They're just solid.
Tuchel sorted out he'll sort out the attack. Obviously, he'll
yeah.
I
said if you give Tuchel next season and the harmony in the squad and the tactics all come together, I think Chelsea can be really good next season, because their defense is obviously really good now. And then when it all clicks, all it takes is for it to click, and it will just be.
Yeah, I love Zuma, man. He's just he's coming in his own, and it's taking him a while, but he's showing that he is as good as everybody thought he could be. And
so when it came to Zuma, in the Champions League game against Madrid when they won 2-0, Christensen was meant to start, but apparently got really ill before the game, and Zuma was put in instead. And a couple of Chelsea fans that I saw on Twitter were really upset by this, because they don't like the idea of Zuma playing a back three, but obviously he can.
The Donny and hench.
I will say, the performance against Atletico Madrid from Chelsea was spot on.
Oh yeah, 100%. They just
absolutely perfect performance.
They bullied him. Like they'd soaked up all the pressure, bullied all the pressure, and then bullied them again when they went forward.
If you watch Rudiger mark Luis Suarez out of that game, you'd have sent him to jail, because he was just bullying. Every time Suarez got anywhere, like the ball was coming towards him, you saw Rudiger just storm at him and just go, "Nope, that's mine." It was fantastic.
The thing is for me is Kazuma is massive, like he's hench. He's also quite tall. He's quick. He's got hops. He can jump so high. Oh my lord, he could be the complete defender, and I think under Thomas Tuchel he will be the complete defender.
Yeah. I'll give him a bit of time. Give him a bit of time. Still got Thiago Silva, who's obviously a bit injured, but he'll be first choice.
Yeah.
Rudiger, he's undroppable at the moment. But then you've obviously got the other centre back, which can be, at the moment it looks like it could be Christensen or Azpilicueta, who's playing there as well.
Yeah.
As a back. But give him time, and Zuma can be really good. And I like how Dow's left this one till last, so he doesn't have to talk about that much. But let's talk about Man United and McFred, as you call it, shall we?
McFred! Go on, what did you say? What did you say to me, Dow, when it happened, right there and then, when you needed a goal? What did you say?
I can't remember what I said exactly, but obviously, why? This is what I don't get. We lost 3-1 to an informed Iheanacho, let's be honest. Coming from a 5-0 hat-trick.
Iheanacho,
you know what I mean?
City FC.
And Iheanacho scoring 2 goals and assisting another goal.
It is.
And I think he may have assisted another if Jamie Vardy scored. Jamie Vardy just literally hit it. Well, I don't know how. Jamie Vardy's literally done Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's literally there picking up the pennies that he's dropped on the floor. And yeah, it's absolutely shambolic from Manchester United. Hang on, bear with me a second. It's just shambolic from. Manchester
He needs a
United.
moment, man. He needs a moment.
Like, it's pathetic. It's a disgusting display. Every single one of them players. I saw Harry Maguire's tweet, and he talked about the fixtures of games. But Leicester have that fixture builder for games. Don't make that as a bloody excuse. Yeah, no, is Leicester at the Europa League now?
Only just happened, so they would have still been playing.
So they still had a cluster of games, and Leicester could still put a performance. Bear in mind, Leicester don't have some of their best players. And then at the end of the post-match conference, Ole talks about injuries. Yet Leicester have injuries as well. And then Ole also talks about players not had much training. Yeah, some Leicester players have not had much training because they've come back from injury. Some players, and it was just absolutely pathetic of excuses.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have played Lindelof. I don't know why he played Lindelof at centre back. He shouldn't have started Fred. I don't know why he started Fred. It should have literally just been Bruno, Pogba, Van der Beek from the get-go. And then so Fred literally gives away a goal by passing it backwards. Iheanacho, clever, gets the ball, scores. Second goal, Tielemans is there, just running. Fred's like, I don't know if I should just grab him, but I'm scared. Do I get fouled? Goal. Literally for about 30 seconds, probably you could say Fred was on Tielemans. It's a bit exaggeration, but it was at least 5. But it's still, you should just put a challenge in. Just put you know what he's gonna do. Put a challenge, and everyone was just backing off. Defenders backing off. Someone could have just went at him, and he would have forced the pass off. No, goal, and then it comes to the subs. He makes 4 subs. He takes off Pogba, which is the person who assisted in the first game. Takes off Van der Beek, which was the clever ability to let the ball go through his legs. In the first half, and I forgot who else he takes off. Oh, he takes off Telles for sure, and I forgot who the 4th sub was.
He took off someone and brought Cavani on. I know that much.
He kept Martial on. I don't know why he kept Martial on. Martial was a bag of scrap. Oh, he took Greenwood off. Yeah, he did. He took Greenwood off. He kept Martial on. I have no idea why he kept Martial on. Martial was a bag of scrap. And he decided to keep Fred on. The person who's costed you 2 goals and you keep him on, and you bring on McTominay and Bruno. Obviously, yeah, Bruno, fine, but McTominay. I want to complete the McFred formation. Let's bring on McFred. And why is he bringing on McFred? No one cares about McFred. I want to see the last of McFred. I want him, to be honest, I'd want them both to go. Because they're both as bag of scrap, and especially together, McFred, it's awful. It's an awful combination.
So,
Fred is awful. I don't rate Fred. He's, yeah.
So I saw a tweet the other day about it, and they said it's a good job that Jamie Vardy can score 1 in every 15 games, being as Iheanacho is playing like prime Messi, and it is bang on. Jamie Vardy is not scoring at all, but Iheanacho's like, don't worry, lad, it's I'm just renaming the club to Iheanacho City FC. Don't worry about it. Like, it is, at the minute, to be fair...
Kelechi Iheanacho's having a party.
Yeah, literally. Like, as bad as Man United were, and they were bad. Jeez, I watched the game, and you had no idea when... So, when Pogba and Van der Beek were on, right, you did really well, and you were doing stuff. There was signs there, but obviously... Leicester are going to defend well. That's what, like, Castagna's come back from injury, and Castagna's a really good, like, fullback. Then you've got the likes of Johnny Evans, and who, by the way, you should never have sold by the looks of it. But Johnny Evans and Soyuncu at the back, like, they are really good, like, defenders. And defensively, Leicester don't really concede that many, like, usually. And obviously they've got their injuries and that. But when you had Pogba and Van der Beek on the pitch, you looked dangerous. You looked like you could provide something. You did have Martial on the pitch, so any pass into Martial anyway was not going to equate into a goal. But
so I've looked at the lineup, and to make it even worse, I didn't even have Johnny Evans. I had the youngster Wesley Fofana, who's like 19 years old.
He played right back, I think.
I don't think Evans was playing.
Yeah, he did. He played.
He
played.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, my mistake.
Yeah, so they had Fofana. They had an already half fit Wesley Fofana at right back, who's a centre back anyway. But they had a Wesley Fofana at right back, and they just sat in and dug in. And like Martial, bro, he needs to go. as my friend from AFTV would say, he's got to go, blood. Like,
it's time to go.
Martial has to go now. Like, he's failed. It's failed. He hasn't gone well. Like, yes, he had a good start to his career when he scored against, I think it was
Liverpool.
Yeah, when he come on and scored against Liverpool and they were doing the, oh, yes, kind of thing. Then he had a solid season. Then Lukaku left. Yeah, then Lukaku left and he had another solid season. But it's too inconsistent, it's too hot and cold, and it's not the striker you need. He has a solid season, but a solid season for Man U is a 20, 25 plus goal scorer. And that's what you had in Lukaku and Ibrahimovic. And everybody blamed Lukaku for your downfall. Now, if you had Lukaku this season, I think you would have done a lot better, just for the pure fact he was scoring goals still. Even in a poor Man United squad that didn't know what they wanted. You had a defence that was poor, let's be honest. It was before Wan-Bissaka. It was before Luke Shaw put in his form. It was before Maguire. It was before anybody had any good defence. Like Mourinho, when he was there, when it was going really well, and like his biggest achievement ever, he said he's coming second with that Man United squad. And it proves it time in, time out, that he was right. How can you go to the board and ask for a world-class centre-back and they go, Eric Bailey? Bro, what are you doing to him? What are you doing to Mourinho?
The thing is, Mourinho called out for Harry Maguire. The board said no.
Yeah.
They was willing to sell Harry Maguire.
It would have been less money than I probably bought him for.
They was willing to sell him for 50 million. The board went, no, we ain't paying 50 million for Harry Maguire. They then go and proceed to sack Mourinho and go, yeah, we'll bring in Harry Maguire for 80 million. The patheticness and stupidity of the board is absolutely shambolic. The board should all be. Funny thing is, as a Manchester United fan, I want us to get relegated and lose every single ounce of money. I want us to lose all of our sponsors. I want us to lose everything. I want us to lose our stadium. I know we've had that stadium for over 100 years, right? But I'd lose it just so we can see them gone and start from afresh, start from a new, and actually build a club that actually wants to win trophies, play football, and not just be there for the paycheck week in, week out. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And obviously, Ibrahimovic said something right at the post-match conference against Milan. We won them 1-0. He goes, they got asked the question, is this Manchester United side better than the Manchester United side you was with him? Yes, it's better, but the difference is I won trophies, they have not, which is 100% correct. It doesn't matter if you're worse or poor. I says to Jim, obviously before all this, I says, talking about Thomas Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel plays pretty boring football. He plays, you know what I mean? He goes out for the clean sheet, 1-0, 2-0. Same as Jose Mourinho. You could argue that Jose Mourinho has done that pretty much throughout all his career. And obviously, when Mourinho was there, people was like, "It's boring. It's not the Manchester United way." I did not care a single penny. You know what I mean? I did not care because all I wanted was trophies. And guess what we got? We got trophies. We got a Europa League. As a fan, yeah, I know Europa League's not a Champions League, but it's still a trophy. It's a trophy that I've never seen us win before, and I was happy and delighted that we won it. And obviously, it was the FA Cup as well we won, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we did the double, and it was beautiful to see. And I call this choke United now. 4 semi-finals now under Ole, lost all 4. Now a quarter-final against Leicester. We're now in the quarter-finals of the Europa League. I forgot who we're against. Does anyone know? Can anyone help me there? Who are we against?
I'll look it up.
Manchester United, UEFA, Europa. It is, ladies and gentlemen.
Granada.
On. Is it Granada? Well, that should be a pretty easy game.
That shouldn't even be a fucking.
That literally, you could put McFred all you want, and McFred would score a hat trick. And if he's not scoring a hat trick, then it's an absolute shambolic. You know what I mean? Granada should be coasting past them, but then it gets to the semi-final. Are we going to choke at the semi-final? But is it an achievement to also finish second in the Premier League and you win Europa League? Probably again. No, it's not. Not unless we close the gap between City. If you look at the points difference between Man United and Man City when we came second, it was ridiculous amounts of points. So we need to close that gap. And the way we're looking, we're not going to close that gap. We're just going to scrape draws, 0-0, so many 0-0 draws. The club is in tatters, and it makes me sad as a Manchester United fan. Like, but I want silverware. That's the point of it. I want silverware. I'm not happy unless we get silverware, and I don't care how we play to win it, so long as we get silverware. We can get a man dive in for a penalty and win the penalty and win the cup. I don't care. I'd love that. I'd commend him on it. I'd be the first person to say thank you for diving. You've won us a penalty. We've won the cup. Thank you. I wouldn't even care. Literally, I just want silverware. That's the main thing. I will literally give my blood for silverware.
I think that's a good place to give ourselves a couple-minute break before we come back. Well, so thank you for
listening to the first half of a 2-half podcast.
Yeah, we're taking a couple-minute break and we're going to come back because we're going to talk about the England squad and the qualifiers coming up and what we think about that. So we'll be back in a couple minutes.